What's up YouTube? So it's about to go down tomorrow. David Haye, great vegan boxer, is fighting Tony Bellew, former cruiserweight champion. Now this fight's at heavyweight, so there's no belts on the line, but if David Haye loses, it will affect his rankings. Now currently David Haye is ranked #1 by the WBO. He's the #1 challenger, so he's effectively ranked #2 behind the WBO title holder, Joseph Parker. So David Haye is actually the mandatory challenger, the #1 contender for the WBO World Boxing Organization sanctioning body, which is one of the 4 main sanctioning bodies that are recognised as legitimate heavyweight belts. He's fighting Tony Bellew tomorrow, 4th of March 2017, and looking forward to it. Haye's looking strong and powerful, and he should be able to win this fight, I reckon, within 4 rounds. Explosive. Bellew is a decent fighter, and as he's achieved more than at cruiserweight than Haye's last 2 opponents had achieved at heavyweight, and they were pretty unknown, whereas Bellew has some kind of a name. You know, he's a current cruiserweight world champion. But I see Haye winning the fight. Tony Bellew's best chance really is if he can avoid getting knocked out early by Haye, by covering up, frustrating Haye. Then if he takes Haye into the later rounds, maybe Haye might gas if he's used a lot trying to knock out Bellew. But I think Haye has been training cardio. He doesn't take it lightly, even though it might look like it. And I think being plant-based now, David Haye's arteries should open up. It should improve his cardio. You see the Diaz brothers, plant-based athletes, have got great cardio. And yeah, it's one thing that a vegan plant-based diet definitely can help with is stamina and endurance, as it really cleans out the cardiovascular system, opens up the arteries, so allows the blood to be pumped easily around the body, less pressure on your heart. Anyway, so if Haye wins against Tony Bellew tomorrow, he'll still be the mandatory challenger for Joseph Parker, who's the WBO champion. Now, also, before Parker is going to fight Haye, he will be facing Hughie Fury as his first title defence, as Haye has opted to fight Bellew instead. Why did Haye take the Bellew fight instead of going straight for Joseph Parker? Well, he does need, I think, another warm-up fight and a slightly better fight before he goes for a heavyweight belt. So it's probably a good idea in that sense to assess his level and how well his training's going. But also it's a big money fight, and these guys they're doing it for money. At this level, at the pro level, they want money. Yeah, they are sportsmen, and they want to achieve success in their sport and create a legacy, but they also want some big dollars, and this fight against Bellew is going to be big dollars for both of them. That's why Bellew's been calling Haye out, because he knows it's a big money fight. And it's also a good money fight for Haye, because if he was to fight Parker as a mandatory challenger, he only gets something like 25% of the purse. I've heard that. I'm not sure if that's exactly how it would work out. It would still be a very big money fight for Haye against Parker, and I think that would be his best chance at getting a belt as well. I think fighting Wilder would be a harder fight for Haye. He's shown how the really tall guys he struggles with, as he struggled against Klitschko, and Wilder's a similar height to Klitschko and even more of a concussive puncher, even though he may be wild and not technically as good a boxer. The other fight that Haye could look at to getting a world heavyweight belt would be Anthony Joshua, who's facing Klitschko. Now Joshua is also similar height to Klitschko. I think Haye, would just stand a chance against Joshua or Wilder, but slightly harder fights in my opinion than the Joseph Parker fight. Although Parker is It's tall. He's not quite as tall as Joshua and Wilder, are both 6'6". I think Parker's more like 6'4", if I'm not mistaken. And he's less of a concussive puncher, in my opinion, although a very talented boxer. I think Haye would have the advantage there in power, speed, and the reach advantage is not so much in Parker's favour as it would be in favour of either Joshua or Wilder if Haye was to fight one of them for the title. Now, there is quite a reasonable chance that Hughie Fury will beat Joseph Parker before Haye gets a chance to fight him, and that would mean Hughie Fury is the title holder and Haye would be the #1 contender against Hughie Fury. Now, I think Haye would like to fight Fury for the belt, but whether Fury would want to fight him, I don't know. The Fury family fell out with David Haye when he pulled out 2 fights against Tyson Fury. Now, Tyson Fury wasted a lot of time training for those fights, and you know, they lost a lot of money, and they wanted that fight, so it was, at the time it was a big money fight for them. So they did say, Peter Fury was on record of saying that they don't want anything else to do with Haye, and they would relinquish belts, as in chuck them in the bin, rather than defend them against Haye. Now, I hope that wouldn't be the case, and I hope that Hughie Fury would defend the WBO if he were to win it against David Haye, because I think that would be a good fight. But whether they hold this grudge and decide not to defend it, that would mean Haye would probably fight for the belt against someone else, or he would just, it would become vacant, I think, and he'd have to have a fight for the WBO against someone else. So it would be great if David Haye manages to secure the fight for the WBO World Heavyweight title after his Bellew fight. If he beats Bellew, maintains his position as #1 mandatory challenger for the WBO, secures a fight either against Parker or Hughie Fury, or a fight for the vacant title if Fury relinquishes the belts. I think the most likely is a fight against Parker. However, I wouldn't write Hughie Fury off against Parker. They're pretty similar, and I would not be surprised at all if Hughie Fury wins. He's a very technically good boxer, similar size to Parker. Anyway, it's great for veganism if Haye secures the title fight for the WBO World Heavyweight belt, and if he wins, beats his opponent, either Parker or Hughie Fury or someone else for a vacant belt. It would be great if David Haye wins and we've got a vegan heavyweight world champion. It's great for advocating the vegan diet and activism, to have a great example of a strength athlete, heavyweight boxer, proving you don't need meat to compete at the highest level as a strength athlete. You can maintain a great physique on the vegan diet and compete at the highest level in sports. And yeah, good luck tomorrow, Haye against Bellew. Bring out them vegan guns. Boom!